guys, Digital Slang. So I wanted to drop a video and I want to talk about the AirPod Pro clones against the original AirPod Pros. And I want to explain the differences between the real ones and the fake. So this might be able to help some people out because I get tons of comments about how somebody was scammed because they wanted to go out and buy some AirPod Pros. And this is going to help with that. It's going to give you some signs of what to look for, what not to look for, and how you can tell them apart. Now the clones have improved dramatically, so it is very difficult at this point to tell them apart, and they're only going to get better. So in the future, when we get closer to a one-to-one, I'll make another video and we'll compare it again. But for now, there are some telltale signs that you can look for when buying some AirPod Pros. Now, I have two boxes in front of me, the AirPod Pro Originals on my left and the clones here on my right. Neither of these are sealed boxes, but I do have a sealed box here. These are clones as well. Now this box in the middle, it is sealed and it does look legit, right? But the original AirPod Pros have a pull tab. So if you go out and you're trying to buy AirPod Pros and it does not have a pull tab in the plastic, it's not an original, it is a clone. Do not buy it. So that is one tell. Once we take a look at the boxes, it gets a little more difficult, right? If there's no plastic on it, it gets a little more difficult. Again, the original's on my left, the clones on my right. On the top of the box, we get an embossed picture of the buds, and they are identical. Both of them are raised and embossed. Now, it is a little different shade of white, but again, I'm talking about your average consumer. They're not going to know that this box is a different shade of white. And if we turn this over, you're going to get the exact same stickers and basically the same text. Now, the box, the clones all have darker text, right? On the back, on the front, the text on the actual charging case, it's all darker. So if you can remember that, it might help. But again, if you're out there trying to buy these and you have nothing to go and compare it to, you're not going to know. So very difficult. We turn it over, we get the Apple branding and AirPods Pro wireless charging case. And if we turn it over and we go around the back side, you're going to see just how similar these are. Again, the clone on my right, the real ones on my left. Both say AirPods Pro with wireless charging case, and then it goes into some different language. Again, darker text over here on the clones. Keep that in mind if you can. Let's open them up and we'll see what's inside. The real one designed by Apple in California, and the clones designed by Apple in California as well. So legit right off the bat. The paperwork, AirPods Pro. If we open it up, it does say iOS on there. And on the clones, if you open this one up, it says the exact same thing. So just looking at the paperwork is not going to help you as well. So we have to dive deeper in and see what else we can find so you guys can compare and not get scammed. Now, we'll look at the earbuds in a minute, but in the box, we do get the charging cable, which is a USB Type-C to Lightning, and of course your extra silicone tips. But we also get the same exact thing in the clones. The charging cable is legit. It is USB Type-C to Lightning, and the silicone tips now do work and fit on the real AirPod Pros. So you cannot go by the packaging, but you can go by the wrapped packaging if you can remember that. Now, if we take a look at the actual buds, both of these have the same text on the back, if you can see that, designed by Apple in California, and your original has the exact same text. Again, a little lighter. On the back of here, it does look like it's gray text, and on the back of the clone, it kind of looks like, well, this one's pretty close to the original, so you can't really go by that either. Now this metallic hinge on the back, it used to be a lot darker. You used to be able to tell that it was very different in that way, but these look identical as well. The charging port on the bottom is the exact same charging port, USB Type-C. Now on the inside of the lid, you do have the text on the inside of the lid on the originals, and you get the same text on the clones, but you can see it is darker on the clones. So darker text on the clones all the time. So once we have the AirPod Pros out of the case and we take a look at it, you can see how identical they are. They both have the bottom chrome ring, right? That metal ring with the white bottom. Both of them are exactly the same when it comes to connecting the silicone tips on here. And on the originals, these vents right here, these on the clones, they used to be stickers. So it was very easy at one point to tell them apart. These, however, are not stickers anymore. They are real steel mesh on here, so you cannot go by that either. So very difficult at this point to tell them apart. So now we're going to go in and we're going to connect them to the phones. And once we connect them, it's going to be a little easier to see the differences between the originals and the clones. Now when you're connecting these and you're using your animation, the real ones are going to say AirPods Pro and the clones are going to say not your AirPods Pro. So if we hit connect, we do get the same animation, just know the difference. The AirPod Pro originals are going to say AirPod Pros when it's connecting, and the clones are going to say not your AirPods Pro. But we are connected. Let's take them out. And you could see it goes through all of the original settings and animations that the originals do. So unless you notice that thing in the beginning with the name, you're not going to notice any difference whatsoever. Now, so once you connect these, you're going to be able to take a look and see the differences inside of the menu option. Now, there's not many, but if you go in here, you can rename it. This is the clone. You can rename it just like you can on the original, exactly the same thing. Noise cancellation off and transparency mode. This is where your big difference is. If you ever want to know if you have a clone or the real deal, turn on noise cancellation. It's going to work fantastic on the AirPod Pros. It's not going to work at all on your clones. Some of them promote that they do have it. They don't. It's not really there right now as far as the clones go. So just if you buy a pair used, try noise cancellation immediately. If it works, you have the real deal. Transparency mode, now some of the clones do have transparency mode as well, so you can't really go by that anymore as well. But noise cancellation is the big one. If you want to know if it's real, turn that on and you're going to know right away. Now, left and right, these buttons are exactly the same. You can do the exact same thing in here, so you can't go by that. Now, your ear tip fit test, again, the clones, they do give you the option to go in and give you the fit test. It does play the exact same music, but the difference is it's a fake ear tip fit test on the clones. And of course, the real one will give you, if you don't have a good seal, it's going to tell you have a bad seal, try another pair. This is always going to tell you you have a good seal, but I wouldn't really trust that. Again, just go right for the big boy, noise cancellation. Now, automatic ear detection, that does work on both the clones, just like it does on the originals, so don't go by that as well. And the mic is the exact same thing. Now, another thing is GPS. GPS does work on the clones. If we go into Find My, this again is the originals, it does tell you exactly where it is. And if we do it on the clones, it's going to give you the exact same location. So again, you cannot go by that. Now, another way you can tell is just by listening to music. The real AirPod Pros sound really good. There is some deep bass. It's punchy. It sounds good. It's crystal clear. The clones, not so much. The clones, a lot of times, have more volume than the originals, but they don't have that punchy bass. They don't sound as clear. So the sound quality, there's a major difference when it comes to the originals against the clones. So real quick, packaging, check the packaging, make sure you have that pull tab on the package. If it's sealed, if you go in and you go into settings, use the animation. The real ones will say AirPod Pros. The clones will say not your AirPod Pros. Now, once you're connected, you can turn on noise cancellation. If you have noise cancellation, you're going to be able to tell right away that you are using the real ones or a clone version. And another way you can tell if it's real or fake is just do a mic test. So I'm going to do a mic test right now, compare the originals, which I have in my ear, and then I will throw the clones in and we will do a mic test with that as well, so you can see the difference. This is the mic test, and we are comparing a clone versus the original, so you guys can be aware of what to look for if you are buying or trying to buy a used pair. This is the mic for the original AirPod Pros. This is the mic test for the AirPod Pro clones. I want to compare it against the originals, and this is going to be a surefire way to tell. Just make a phone call to somebody, test the mic out, because the mics on the clones usually sound pretty crappy. And the AirPod Pros mic, the real ones, have one of the best mics in the game. So hopefully you can tell the difference. All right, guys, hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. Hopefully you can tell the difference now a little bit more when you're comparing the original AirPod Pros against a clone version. Again, the clones are getting very close to a real one-to-one, and they do have ones coming out with noise cancellation. So when they come out, I'll make another video and update you on how you can tell them apart. But really quick, the packaging, just look for that seal when you're pulling it apart, when you're taking off this plastic sealed packaging, look for that seal. The clones do not have that. I have not seen that anywhere on any clone, and if it does come out, I will let you know. Once you get into the box, it's very difficult to tell because the packaging inside of the box anyway, even the paperwork is identical to the originals. The case itself, again, a little darker text on the box, a little darker text on the actual charging case. Again, both of these support wireless charging. And the earbuds themselves, they are very similar, or one-to-one in size and weight. The real silicone tips, the real bottom chrome rings. Now, once you connect these, the animation, you can tell them apart. The real ones will connect and it will say AirPod Pro. The clones will connect and say not your AirPod Pros. But once you get into the menu, it all looks exactly the same. That's when you will go in and you will try noise cancellation. Check that out if you have ANC. That is the real deal. If it does not work, get rid of it. It's a clone, throw it out, and report whoever is trying to sell you some fake goods. Next thing to look for is sound quality. AirPod Pros, once you have these in your ears, are going to sound really good. These, not so much. You're going to have more highs and mids, not a lot of bass, not very clear. It might be a little muffled, so keep that in mind. Sound quality is a big tell with these. And the mic, I know when you're going to buy these, you're not going to sit there and make a phone call, but the mics are very different from a clone to the original. But hopefully this video helps, unless people get ripped off by these clowns out there that are trying to sell the clones as the real deal. It's not right, it's not cool, and we got to get past it. So hopefully this video helps, but that's it for the video. There are many ways. If you guys have any questions and you want to know anything about the clones against the real ones, just drop a comment and let me know. But hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back soon. Peace.